Thank you for joining us at the NC Center for After School Programs. Today we're going to do a couple of quick experiments from our very fun Earth Science unit that is called Cloud Factory. Now what we're going to do today is actually show the process that makes clouds. We can review a few things first. We're going to review the way that energy is transferred, and there's a little dance in the beginning of this lesson. It's not really a dance, but it's okay. And here's the terminology. First of all, you've got convection. These are currents of energy that travel through both air and water. We've also got conduction. Conduction is when you have two molecules bumping into each other that transfer that heat energy. And the third one, and conduction would be like when you touch a metal spoon when you're cooking and the metal spoon gets hot. And then the third one is radiation. Radiation travels through a vacuum in space in waves, and that's just a good thing to review before you begin this process. So when we're looking at the formation of clouds, we're looking at convection in the Earth's atmosphere and in the oceans as well. Those both work together. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to make a cloud in a cup. And I have some ice, and I also have a little bit of warm water, and for the sake of being able to see it a little better, I'm going to make this warm water green. Now, can you see how quickly that mixes? You can even see the swirling of the food coloring in the moving water molecules. Now, I'm going to make a cloud in this cup by putting, you can see it forming already. Can you see? The cloud, the fog forming all around, because you've got warm air hitting cold air, and then you've got a phase change from evaporation, which is water vapor, into condensation, changing into a liquid form. And we're going to let this set off to the side for just a little bit, so you'll be able to see that clear up and a cloud form. Now the next part of what we're going to do is something called a front in a jar. A front is the edge of an air mass. Air masses are classified by their temperature and by where they form. And so basically what we're looking at today is a cold air mass and a warm air mass. And we are going to mix them together. So the first thing that we're going to do is take our warm water and put just a little bit into the cup. Okay, we need our dropping pipette. Now we're going to take this colder, dense water, and we're going to very carefully add it to the side of the cup. Now, can you see that happening? The blue water is going to the bottom because it's more dense, and the red is forced up to the top. Now, this process is actually what happens when a cold front moves into an area. That cold, dense air pushes up the warm air, and as it shoves up that warm air out of the way at that boundary, you get storms, like convective thunderstorms. So that is a good way, and as it even settles, you can see the blue at the bottom and the red on the top, which is kind of neat. And then what I want to do now is show you the opposite, which is a warm front. Now, fronts are named by the invading air mass. So if it's a warm front, then the warm air is coming in. So we're going to start with the cold air this time. so there's our cold water. And now we're going to use a different dropping pipette just because it's easier. Now watch what happens when I put this one in. I don't know if you can see this as well, but it doesn't really, it barely moves that colder, denser out of the way, the denser water. And the red still ends up staying up on the top, and you can kind of see it swirling. Your kids are going to see it if they're right up close to it. And this is a really fun activity that you can do. A lot of times, hours of entertainment, just trying to make the different kinds of air masses. The third thing that I would say is stack it. If you want to mix a little bit of warm and a little bit of cold together, now you've got kind of like a really dark color. But now if you have both the red and the blue coming in, then you can get something called an occluded front, and that's kind of neat too, where you get the wedge of the red pushed up. And occluded, can you see the red right on the edge there? That is typical of very changeable weather, where it seems like it starts raining and stops. So again, you can make a model of these liquids because convection is the way that energy is transferred, just like it is in the air as well. And I hope that you have a lot of fun making all of these fronts and air masses and clouds. And if you look right here at the bottom of this bag, can you see the water droplets forming? That's where the condensation is forming, and we are getting a cloud inside the cup. And that's part of the water cycle. So I hope you have fun with this with your littles. And please check out the interactive cloud websites and some of the other neat links that we have in there for our older kids to really think about how weather works. Thank you very much.